boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about persistence.
It's a tricky word, huh? We're going to try it again? All right, say it again.
Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about persistence.
Persistence. Yeah, it's not an easy word. Persistence. You know what it means?
It means you keep on trying.
Absolutely, right? So persistence, a very important theme throughout the book. Of course, Think and Grow Rich, what I have in my hand right now that we've been reading for a while now, getting through all the chapters. This is chapter 9 in Think and Grow Rich, and persistence is so important, and it's interesting how it's that repetition that comes throughout the book. When he's in Decision from the last chapter, he mentions persistence. Before that, Organized Planning mentions persistence, because he said the famous line we've been saying for a couple episodes, that quitters never
win
and winners never
quit.
Right? So that's part of persistence, right? Because you're not giving up. You're not quitting. It gets hard. It gets tough, and you just keep at it, right? So persistence is really important. Just had a great conversation with a young guy just recently, and he said that persistence defies resistance, right? And so we were talking about the analogy of the fact that you can create the Grand Canyon through persistence. And when you think about how water carves things out through stone and all these things, so that water generally wouldn't be able to do much damage, right? But over persistent, consistent time, it can actually do something, right? And so I think a lot of times the reason why people don't gain or obtain the success they're looking for is because they're not persistent, really. I mean, let's face it, there's lots of different things. That's why these are all great principles. But when you think about people failing when they're trying something, it's because they go at it for a little while, and then they give up and they try something else, and it's just that lack of persistence. You consider yourself a persistent person, would you say?
I'm a persistent person.
Yeah, so you don't give up when you try stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even with video games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I remember that last video game we were playing, I don't know. So I'm working on them right now, trying to get them together as far as that, when you win, great. When you lose, it gets a little upset and things. And I want to try to instill in him that you can't be a sore loser. You can't get upset. We're playing a little video game, a friendly little fighting game, right? It wasn't as bloody and gory as some of these other ones. Pretty friendly game for the most part. Maybe still not 5-year-old approved, I don't know, but we did play and it was a lot of fun. But he was beating me and things, but then a couple times I beat him, and I don't know, you got a little kind of, I don't know. So I just want to make sure, we work on that, right? That's something we're going to work on. We're going to make sure, if you win, you're happy, and when you lose, you say, it's okay. I didn't win that time, but I'm going to get back on there and I'm going to try even harder to make sure I win that next time, right? That's what it's all about, that you just don't give up. And instead of giving up, that you just try that much harder, right? I think that's really what matters, and that's what's important, that not only do you not give up, you think of different strategies and ways that you can implement other ways to still win. Or maybe you can just keep on practicing, take a step back, get back on the saddle and practice, because that way you can get better and then you can win. So there's a couple things in the book that I wanted to point out, and that was surrounding yourself with a mastermind group. And he gets into it in another chapter more fine-tuned and really breaks it down a lot better in the next chapter, but this is kind of a taste of the mastermind group. And so he just mentions that you want to make sure those people are cooperating in a manner that's in harmony, right? And so that you all can remain persistent. Talks a little bit about the subconscious mind, and that's really important, and I like that he dedicates a whole chapter to that. We read that actually already. We're going to go back to that again. And basically here, I don't know if you can read all these words here. You see that says there. You learned this one yet?
Is.
Yeah. N-O. Not yet. Not yes, but no. There is no substitute for persistence. And I think that's really great, because it's so true, right? I really can't think of anything else offhand right now at the moment that just seems so much more important than persistence. Persistence is huge, right? You need all the principles, of course, right? That's why the book is created in the way that it is, but I really feel big about persistence. And this is what we talked about before. So there's ones who have not accepted defeat as being anything more than temporary. And so that's really how you win, right? You recognize the fact that if you do lose, that you are defeated in some kind of way, that's only temporary, right? That defeat is only temporary. It's not permanent failure. As long as you get back up, dust yourself off, and get back in that ring, right? So can you think of a time that you were persistent, that you didn't give up?
When I was doing math.
When you were doing math? You like math, huh? So you kept trying, you figured it out? Mm-hmm. Okay, so far you 2 for 2 in your math skills here each video. You're breaking down the math skills. How about 7 plus 3? You know that one?
10.
Are you saying it?
I said 10.
That's right. All right. Wow. Nice. Very good. 3 for 3. So the past 3 videos, just on the money, A1, right, with these math. I don't know. I was thinking doctor at first, but maybe mathematician. I don't know. Maybe the next Einstein. It's hard to say right now. You know, still young, but I see a very bright future for you. Lots of success, lots of money, lots of math problems solved very easily. Lots of big ventures, possibly. I don't know if you're doing any sports. I don't know if you don't do too many sports. Think you might play some sports?
Yes.
Think so? Yeah, I think you. I wouldn't say, you know, I don't know if you'll, be into it that much to where you want to become like the next Jordan, Kobe, LeBron type of thing. We'll see. You know, you could end up really excited about it and liking it a lot. But I don't know. I just don't see that something that you're gonna really love yet. But you never know. You could. But I mean, it's not all about sports, right? I mean, I think there's so many other ways to be a success. And so it's important to recognize that we shouldn't always try to push our kids into becoming the next basketball player that's in the NBA, doing this and that and things. I mean, you could be a successful engineer, doctor, lawyer, architect, entrepreneur, right? Run a business, a company, Fortune 500 CEO, and all those things, right? So really the sky's the limit. So I would not encourage to limit your child to just, football or basketball. If they're great and talented, hey, definitely push it. And plus, I think that it's really important. That's why I do want to, get you into sports young, because it just teaches a lot of great skills like discipline and teamwork and things like that. So I would have you in that more so for those skills to be able to be developed and pulled out of you by a great coach and a great team and things, as opposed to trying to see if you could become that next superstar athlete and things like that. But if you can, great. I'm down with it. I'll be right there in the stands. If it's basketball, courtside seat, I'll be right there rooting you on. So before we close out of this one, a couple things that were really great in here. There was a person, this woman, I don't know if you remember, we were talking about this publisher. She wrote a book. She was trying to get it published, and she went to the publisher and got rejected. And matter of fact, she went to 36 different publishers and kept getting rejected. And then eventually, after pounding that pavement, she did actually get her opportunity, and she did become a successful writer, got published. And from that point on, publishers knocking on her door like, hey, we want your next book. And so really, it all worked out for her. And that came down to persistence, right? If she would have gave up after the first time, the third time, the 16th time, the 22nd time, then she would not have been successful. So I know there's some of these points we've made before, because this book does repeat, but it repeats in a good way, right? Repetition is definitely the key to learning. And so some of the things they talk about persistence and these causes is a definiteness of purpose, which we've talked about a lot. That was the first chapter, really, that purpose, right? You feel like you have a purpose in life? Mm-hmm. Good. Desire, self-reliance, plans, you know your plans, and you work those plans too, right? Accurate knowledge, cooperation, willpower, and habit. So we didn't really spend a lot of time in willpower, but willpower is really part of persistence, though. Really, it's just pushing yourself to get up early. If you say you're going to get up at 3 in the morning, which that's about the time I get up, if you say you're gonna get up, then get up, right? Don't sleep in, hit the alarm, and snooze for 2 more hours. That's that willpower, and just habit can be a part of that as well, right? If you have the habit of getting up early and doing certain things, a routine, making sure you stick with that, because that's gonna help you out in life. So I think that's all I have. There was several more really good ones here, but I don't want to make this video too long here. We like to keep them short and sweet for you. So I want to have you say anything else you want to say about anything: desire, persistence, purpose, math, school, anything, habits.
Math is helps you learn in school.
Math helps you learn. So you said math is your favorite subject then? Is that's your thing, math? Okay, so you like math. You seem like you like reading too, right? You like math, you like reading, you like video games. Anything else?
I like to go outside.
Like to go outside, like to play, throw snowballs in the wintertime. Okay, I like it. Anything else you like doing? Or anything you want to say? Anything important that you think that they should know?
No.
Nothing at all? Okay. You want to close out then?
How to you learn how to do spaces when you write sentences?
Spaces when you're writing sentences? Okay, interesting. Yeah, you do need that space in there, right? You got to have a nice bit of space so you can see each word from another word. They can't just all run together, so that's important, right? That's good. And you said you're playing outside the snow, but you couldn't play in too deep of snow because you didn't have big old boots on. You just had on some Timberlands. So, okay. So anything else happened that was fun?
Me and Jamin played Power Rangers outside.
Okay, playing Power Rangers. Cool, okay. So play some good old Power Rangers. Were you the Green Ranger, Red Ranger?
I was the Gold Ranger.
Oh, the Gold Ranger, okay. So, little Power Rangers. I think there's a movie coming out for Power Rangers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, I guess we'll check that out. I still can't figure out how Power Rangers lasted for so many years. I mean, I watched Power Rangers when I was a kid. Now look at this. You're watching Power Rangers. This is amazing. I wonder what your kids be watching Power Rangers. You think so?
Jamie said he watched Power Rangers.
No, I'm saying, well, your kids, like when you get older, you become an adult like me, and you have kids like yourself. You think they're gonna watch Power Rangers?
Yes.
Yeah, it might still be on. Yeah, I mean, that would be quite amazing if they still have Power Rangers 20 years or so from now. That will be amazing. So I'm planning on trying to figure out a way to travel to the future, to be able to teleport and travel the future and the past and things like that. So once I figure that out, I will definitely go into the future, and I will definitely find out if there's Power Rangers next 20, 30 years. So I'll let you know, and I'll come back and let you know right away. Or, I mean, if I don't figure it out, I'll just wait, 20, 30 years, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it is, maybe it's not there. But I'll be a little older then, but I'll still have my wits. And so I'll be, I guess I'll watch a little bit too. But all right, well, that is our show. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed yourself there.
Bye, boys and girls.
Bye, boys and girls, and everyone else. Make sure you do your best.
Don't settle for less.
Don't settle for less. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.
Why'd you say peace? Because it's peace out.
Yeah, peace out. What you know about peace out?
It means goodbye.
So does peace.
I know.
Peace.
What?
Peace.
What did Sunrise Monster do?
Peace.
What? It got to be like peace. What? You didn't say anything.
Peace.
What? Bye, boys and girls. Peace to strive.